Winter and spring steelhead fishing is different than summer steelhead. Oftentimes the flows of winter and spring are high, the volume is really pushy. So the water is also very cold. The key is getting your fly down, and how we do that is a very important aspect to your success for winter and spring fishing. Now, as I approach a piece of water like this here, I see that there's heavy, fast flow on the far side. The zone that those steelhead should be sitting in is that softer water, just this side of that fast water. If I make my cast like I would for summer steelhead, that line would lay out, it would whip across the fast and then slow down a little in that softer edge. Well, I want to get my fly down deep first so that it's in the zone as it comes into that soft transition water between the fast and the slow water. So how we do that is really important. I'm going to start out in here just like I would, nice and close, short cast. Now I can do different things to get the fly deep in here. So where I cast, whether it's quartering down, up, or straight out, that's going to influence how the fly sinks. How much angle is on the line, that also influences how the fly sinks. So in here, I'm going to throw straight across, mend, slow the swing speed down so that it moves across more slowly. The fly swinging more slowly means it's also fishing deeper. Because the water's cold, those fish aren't coming up to the top to grab the fly. I've got to get the fly down to the fish. Oftentimes, the top of the run is shallower and faster than the middle portion of the run. As I progress through the run, I'm going to change my strategy slightly so that I'm matching my swing depth appropriately to the depth of the bottom as I move through the run. Now, one thing that I can do to help get the fly deeper as I move farther down in this run is change the order of my presentation. So in other words, we've been doing cast, swing, then step down, cast, swing, step, cast, swing, step. Now for this spot, I'm going to change that timing. So I cast to make my mend, and right as it gets in this part, I'm going to step down, and that gives it a little bit of drift. It's like adding some drag-free drift to the presentation. That helps get that sink tip and fly deeper right in the key part of this run so we can find Mr. Steelhead. If you're able to make that step down at the right timing, it's important to helping you present your fly better, getting the fly deeper. If you're still slowly moving down because of this terrain or whatnot, then you might want to apply another technique. If the structure you're wading through is too difficult to work through, try adding some line. We'll make that cast. Okay, there's the cast. Make the mend. Now right in the key point here, I've got this extra line ready to go. So I've moved the fly down, and it's also getting deeper. Instead of the step down between the cast, between the swing and cast, I'm adding some line to get that fly deeper with more of almost a dead drift in there. So now we can apply one more trick to this. It's what we call the slip, step, swing trick. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make that same distance cast. We make the mend. We allow that line to slip up here, and then we feed it down with the rod tip. Now see how I'm doing that 13 feet of fly rod, moving down like that, helps sink that fly in nice and deep. And as I move through the run, I'm going to apply different strategies like this to get the fly down where it needs to be. Now, my next cast here, I'm gonna add the step down with it. Okay, so there's that. I've still got this extra line ready. I'm gonna make my mend, and I'm gonna start moving that rod tip down, because as we get down in this hole deeper, see, I step down with it now. That fly's getting down nice and deep, right in the good part of the run here.
No matter how you mix these tactics, stepping down and slipping line, you need to maintain the same timing between your casts and keep the distance you move downstream consistent.
Oh, there we go. And he's gone.
Rob, Dean, and Marty are all adamant that the mesmerizing effect of a repetitive presentation is key to inducing a strike.
Make sure that hook is super sharp. Okay, no tangles in the fly. Sometimes this line will get caught up on the bottom hook and you'll be fishing with basically no hook. So it's important to make sure that's not going on. And we'll check the sharpness to make sure that that hook is sticky sharp. All right, now, before I move anywhere, I'm going to make the same cast, all right? So, I'm not gonna move anywhere. Get the same length of line, don't change anything. Line management here. Mend, slip, moving the rod tip position up, lower the rod position right into the sweet spot there. Be careful not to drop that rod tip too quickly. You can drop it right on the rock and then you'll be snagged up. Okay, let's see if he comes back. Come on. All right, he didn't come back. Now, one of the formulas we'll use is often to come back, move back upriver and come back through. We'll switch flies to a smaller and darker fly and see if we can trigger that fish to take again.
As important in your presentation as consistency is achieving your desired fly depth right away and then keeping it throughout the entire swing. All this effort may be for naught, however, if you don't finish your presentation with proper line management.
The current speed changes. The current flattens out and softens in the middle. And it also gets much softer on the edges here. Now remember, steelhead like to follow a fly, so if you're not managing your swing, it'll just swing across the middle and stop. I want to keep in mind that that steelhead may be following that fly. He may be tracking that fly and coming after it. And if it just kind of stalls and stutters, it's often that fish is going to turn and move away. So I want to keep that fly moving. So to do that, I've got to manage my swing. That means mending that line and adjusting that line so that that fly is coming across that nice even swing speed. Now it's in there nice and deep. It's coming across the main current swing speed here, the main zone. But now as it gets over in here, it starts to soften. I want to keep it moving nice and even. So I'm adjusting the rod position and the line position so that that continues the swing across and hopefully gets a steelhead to take the fly.
Changing the weight of your fly and sink tip in heavy water are other adjustments you might have to make to get your presentation to half the water depth. But step down and line slip tactics need to be an integral part of your strategy for winter steelheading.
Oh, there's a grab, and we're off. There's a steelhead, my friends, yes. Oh, and it's taking line. Oh, he's coming back at me. Whoa, that is a hot fish. Keeping the line tight as best you can. Whoa, you see that? He has just done that classic V formation heading upriver. What a powerful fish. He just climbed right on there. That line came tight. Whew, my heart's pounding. This is a hot steelhead. Oh, okay, stopped running. There's a lot of branches, trees sticking out down there. He's coming right at me, just reeling as fast as I can to stay with him. Oh, that's a nice fish. What a beautiful steelhead. As I get him in here, he's likely to blast out again. But what I like to do to land these guys when I'm by myself, grab his tail. Oh, look at that guy. What a beautiful fish. Now it's really important how we handle these steelhead. He's in really good shape. Look at that. I love it. Nice wild fish. I gotta get him unhooked and on his way. Give myself some slack line to work with here. All right, that hook is out. Get this guy on his way. What a beautiful fish. There you go, buddy. Woo! Man, now that is what the tug is the drug is all about. Incredible steelhead on the swung fly. That is hard to beat. Gotta love that. Good stuff, good stuff.